Good morning and hope you all have been well. In today's video, we're going to be doing a theory video on Pokemon Rejuvenation. The main goal of this video is to pretty much again go over theories that I have. I want to try creating some sort of timeline on which events happened before one another, more so like past events more than future events, but I at least want to try to create some sort of timeline. And I also want to finally get into just ideas and speculations on how version 14 and onwards is going to play out. Before I get started, I do want to say a few things real quick. Number one, there's going to be a few things that I get wrong, that I get confused, that I don't remember. And if you want to beat me up in the comments if I get something wrong, that's fine, whatever floats your boat. I think I have most of my stuff correct, but again, I'm going to make a few mistakes probably, and if you wish to correct me or again just beat me up in the comments, that's fine. Number two, I want to also, by the end of this video, I kind of want to summarize how I feel about version 13 as a whole. Again, I know I did that already, but just a quick summary on how I feel about everything, and then that's probably how we're going to end off the video. So again, I want to get into theories, I want to try to timeline stuff, and I want to take a stab at how version 14 is going to play. One last thing, this is pretty much going to be the final episode of our Pokemon Rejuvenation Let's Play until version 13.5 arrives, and until version 14 and onwards, arrives or gets released and all that. I also want to say this real quick. I plan to possibly do some redos on some tutorial videos, like how to get Beldum, certain starter stuff like that in the future. So small tutorial videos are not going away, but for the Let's Play itself, I don't plan to do any more side quests or anything like that until version 13.5 arrives. I may do another theory video as I replay the game over and over with my other files, maybe. I have not decided yet. I've always noticed that whenever I play this game over and over and over, I always create new ideas and theories, so maybe in the future I will, but as of now, I plan for this to be the final one for this Let's Play, so just a heads up on that. Okay, so what I'm going to do pretty much is I'm going to start from the beginning with the Pokemon War, because clearly, I can go back and forth all day long with what I should start with, but I decided let's just start with the first Pokemon War. So Nimro back in the past talked about the Pokemon War, how it transpired. Now in the future, Alexandra said there's some slight things that weren't necessarily said when they added that we are the other part of Arceus that kind of like broke apart and faded. So that was a big change. Now keep in mind that not keep in mind, but what I'm also gonna guess is they probably altered the story with version 13 just a small bit here and there, so there may be new stuff added that I've not seen or read yet, so I don't know anything from like the first chapter all the way up to where we pretty much go, kung fu fighting and training and all that good stuff with Alexandra and Damien and all that. So there could have been some changes, I don't know any of them, so yeah, I just want to say that real quick. So the first Pokemon War happened, in Avium, not just Avium but around the world, because again it said that AZ was the one that pretty much ended everything then and there. It's one of those things that, like, I don't have a lot of theories on the war, but I just want to use that as like a starting point. So after that on my notepad, I have Vitus and Nimrod. So I want to go into them real quick. So I'm going to safely assume again, they got into a fight, people learned about the archetype, and then that's what caused it all. But I have a big theory on Vitus and Nimrod from like the past and even future events and all that. Now I'm going to get into this more in the future, but I believe Vitus is Yveltal, and I believe Nimro is Xerneas. Now, yes, her legendary Pokemon, I believe it is stated as Regigigas, but I believe it is Xerneas. I believe they are able to, I don't know if they're like trapped as that or if they could transform into that. I have a few speculations on that actually can prove that, but that's what I believe. I believe Vitus can actually be Yveltal and Nimro can actually be Xerneas. So I want to say that. Again, I'll get into it more in the future, but for now, just hold that thought. Next, I believe after the war, you know, with everything that's going on, I believe there was a second war. Now, everything could have been in just one big war, but I believe a second war transpired and happened and all that. That with being the Seven Kingdoms, with Spacia, Tempa, Griseldia, and all the others. Because Griseldia on Avium pretty much was like, we have the archetype, that's what everybody wants, but I want to create mayhem and all that. Because we read that during the Badge Doors quest, that I guess she just wanted to eliminate all threats just in case of a future war and have her be the only, you know, standing ruler, I guess, in a sense. Spacia and Tempa clearly disagreed. They pretty much poisoned her, and it is stated, now this also proves the whole Vitus and Nimrod thing being a Pokemon. I believe Griseldia is the Giratina that is seen with Jenner, Zeta, and all that good stuff. So the reason I believe in that is it says on the final book on the Badge Door 9 that out of nowhere, like, her spine, or not spine, like, her rib cage became like spikes or something. It said her crown or whatever it was, like, became her face, which, if you put those two together, it kind of shapes similar to Giratina in a sense. And it said that Spacia and Tempa, because Griseldia went on a rampage, banished her to the distortion world, to a distortion world. What lives in the distortion world? Giratina. So I believe that a lot of the gods are pretty much that Pokemon itself. And that can also fit into like the archetype thing. Like, I believe at some given point that Aaron, Alice, Alan, and Malia, or Marionette, I'll get into that later though, can, if they all four combined each other, if they have enough strength, they could become Arceus at some given point. Maybe. It's a stretch, but maybe. So yeah, I believe the rulers have the ability to actually transform into that. Now, it is a long shot, but to me, it makes sense on that type of level, so yeah. Again, the Seven Kingdoms, I don't know every single kingdom on the top of my head, but as I said before, I believe that there was a second war with everything going on. I don't know where Vitus was at the time. I don't know about Nimro, but all I know was Griseldia wanted to pretty much be the one ruler of the Seven Kingdoms of Avium. So, yeah. Next thing I have on my list is Interceptor real quick. Now, clearly, there has to be some sort of, and now what I'm trying to do is, again, try to piece everything together from the past stuff. So I believe the first Pokemon War happened, Vitus and Nimro kind of fit into the first war. The second war, I kind of want to get into Spacia, Tempa, and all that. The Seven Kingdoms, I don't know much about it, but that still falls into, you know, War 2, with them all battling and all that, or more so Griseldia battling them all and trying to win it all. Clearly the Interceptor probably has something to do with some of the past events. It's not 100% known yet, but here's the part that gets interesting though. I'm still stuck on the one scene with Nim, when Nim and our character were together in the past at some given point, because it literally yelled our name. And then it appeared before Alexander and all that. I do have a theory on that, but I'll get into that in a moment. But yeah, I also have Flee from Mira. Oh yeah, that goes into my next thing then. So the Mira region, that's the one thing that I've gotten really confused, right? So I believe there is the potential that Avium, now it could be either way, I could be wrong. I believe Mira has the potential of pretty much being Avium. So the reason I think that's a possibility in a sense is, again, like, nobody remembers Mira, so it could be something as simple as, I mean, literally, what's her name? Clear had the ability, for example, to like alter people's minds and all that with like the memory and all that. Like, we now know this as Avium, but what if this was once Mira? Now, for me, it's just like, it just, I'm having a hard time, I'm gonna be honest, I'm having a hard time fitting Mira with anything of this. I really am. Because Mira happened on its own thing with the whole Blakery thing and all that. Now, I believe that's a whole setup. I believe a nuclear power plant, explosion, all that did happen, but I believe there's much more that's being hidden on that. And I believe it has to do with Vitus and possibly Nimro. So, maybe that happened in the future before, or sorry, not before, after, the Pokemon War and all that. So, maybe, I don't know. But Mira is still something that I'm confused, to be honest. I have up next, yeah, so we already gone through the meltdown. Again, I feel like that has something to do with Nimro and Vitus, or at least some other power that got involved with all that. So, yeah, and plus with Lord Zenodin and the old Team Zen and all that, I believe something happened at that point. That, now by the way, I'm gonna say the Mirror region happened after the Pokemon War, or War 2. It could have been just one giant war. I could be wrong on that, or right or wrong, whatever. I'm just saying it is possible that there was a second war and all that. Maybe that's what made people move to Mira and all that. They tried it out. Team Zen was there, or I guess started a group on all that, and it failed. I still feel like Vitus or Nimro has something to do with all that. I believe Madam X was probably there, and it explains why Madam X says, Father, I've lost and all that, because I believe either Lord Zenodin is the father, or it could have been another situation that Vitus is actually the father. Simply because, as you know, Vitus has married quite a few, women in the region, not necessarily for like love interest, but more so to get information and power and all that type of stuff. Because clearly Anatha had something to do with maybe the 4 kids, even though they did put the archetype in them and all that. He married Narcissa because of the ruins and to do the whole tower thing, so it was all for the bigger picture for him. So who knows? Okay, so what I have next is Nimro and Vitus part 2. So again, I do believe that, again, Nimro and Vitus had another confrontation. Let's just take a stab at it. Let's just say it happened in Mira. It could have all been still in Avium. I could be wrong, but it's, again, like I can go back and forth all day. I just don't know. It's just an educated guess. I believe they went at it again in Mira, because think about it as well. Nimro, without the N and Y, her name is literally Mirror Region, so it's like, I don't know, and that's what it also makes me feel like maybe Avium was once Mira because of her name itself, with Mira in the name as well. I don't know if it's a coincidence or not. I don't think it is, but yeah, anyways, I believe they had some sort of battle and all that again, because whether it's a disagreement, or because, good and evil and all that, because again, it is believed stated that Vitus would end everything if he is not stopped. So yeah, I believe it happened possibly there. It caused, the region to be pretty much abandoned and all that, so maybe they went to Avium, back to Mira, and then back to Avium again. Maybe. And maybe the Mirror region happened before the second war. It could fit in the middle of the first war and then the second. And that's even if the second war theory is true or not. Again, I'm 50-50 on it, but yeah, there we go. That's how I feel on that. So now let's take a step further. We go back to Avium, alright? So this is pretty much us now. Like, we go into Avium. It's now Kyogre City. We're in, well, not the future, but the past, but before the Pokemon War and all that. So yeah, we're in Kyogre City. We deal with all that. And I'm just going to skip on ahead because there's not really a lot that really changes beside, Vitus being there and all that. I mean, it's kind of explained what happened. The potion didn't work because I believe Anatha died. The potion didn't work. He went all to be a cultist again and all that. Decided that he wanted to ruin Kyogre City, destroy Mr. Blakery, blah blah blah. So that's pretty much, That makes sense. So we're gonna skip on ahead to Hiyoshi City then when all that went down. We went to the past with Ren, me, Reina, Hugh. I forgot if there was like one other person. I think it was just us four. Or were there 5 of us? I don't remember honestly. There's a point where Nimro pretty much said like, we know where Vitus is, like we have to go stop him. And I believe that was pretty much the final attack on Vitus until possibly in the future Rejuvenation we're gonna have another battle with him again. So clearly Nimro, Angie, and Azuki went to go battle Vitus. I'm gonna safely assume that they failed their mission. They lost again. Because again, you know, the first time Vitus and them didn't really happen. Second time, Nimro said, well, maybe Vitus actually has changed, but of course that wasn't really changed. It was because of Anatha and the potion and all that. So he didn't really change. It was just because he was under a spell and all that. And so yeah. And well, yeah. Anyways, so they went to do the final assault. I'm gonna assume they failed. Now I'm gonna safely assume all 3 of them fell into darkness. Now I'm not going to forget the 4 lights and 4 darknesses, okay? So with the 4 lights, I'm still puzzled on that. But the 4 darks, I think I have a good idea. Again, like, and I had this wrong as well, that the 4 darks were the storm itself. So I'm going to say Nim was 1. Angie had to have been the other one. I'm going to safely assume. I'm going to put our name there because at the end of the game, we created a tornado. Because wind was for Nim. Angie was ice or hail, whatever it was. Alana, I believe, was there tornado, I believe. And then the other one was thunder, if I'm not mistaken. Thunder is still unknown yet. I don't remember if there was a thunderstorm with Hazuki. I don't think there was, but there might have been. So still unknown the 4th one, but I'm going to put those 3 for the 4 darknesses. For lights, I can go back and forth, you know, Malia, maybe Alita, maybe Reina, you know, maybe. We could maybe put Ren in Thunder. We could maybe put, you know, Madam X, you know, maybe one of the Blakeries, maybe. I don't know. But as Indra said before, you know, it's not necessarily one individual, and I guess it can kind of like, it can transition to one other person, so it seems like a thing that like it's always changing, I guess, if I got that right. So yeah. Real quick, I'm sorry if I'm kind of like talking fast and kind of going all over the place. It's just, it's a lot to take in, so yeah, sorry about that. Anyways, so I'm gonna safely assume they failed the mission. You know, Nimro said like once, you know, Alana awakens, like we will meet in the Obelisk and all that, and she goes onward to Indred. So I'm gonna assume Hazuki failed and fell into darkness because of her attitude with the Registeel, and Nimro appeared and allowed Saki to take over, since, you know, Hazuki pretty much, you know, got involved with bad stuff too. Not necessarily she got involved with the bad stuff, but she allowed it to continue on with the Blakeries, so I think there's still some sort of blame for her. Angie with the whole spirit thing going out of her, I don't know if that was Indred's spirit or not, but I believe she fell into darkness. And Vivian, I believe, I'm not sure if she fell into darkness or not. I can probably say Hazuki and Angie at some point did. Vivian, I'm not really sure. She could have fell for the darkness of betrayal, maybe, because she felt betrayed by Arceus, so it's possible. I added her there too for now, but of course she sacrificed herself and now she is Alita at this point. So yeah. So anyways, let's see. Before all that though, I forgot to say this. This kind of happens before the attack. I kind of written that after the attack. I'm sorry, I mixed that up. Indred seals kids in Dimension. That happens, I believe. Let's just say the whole Anatha thing happened, right? And here's the thing that's confusing with the whole Anatha thing. She gets killed. We stopped the bomb from Kyugerin City, so I guess maybe somewhere after that. That is when No, it happened. No. I'm sorry, I lied. That happened before Anatha got killed, if I'm not mistaken. Because they wanted them like to spy on one another or something. And see, the four kids, it's just no, I lied. It makes sense. It makes sense because Malia, or not Malia, I'm sorry. Venom said like, or Ren maybe, they said, well, there's one kid. Why wouldn't she care about the other three? Because the other three are gone now. They're in the unknown dimension. The only one left is Marionette. And Marionette could possibly be Malia. And that goes into my next thing real quick. So it's stated at the end of the story that Malia is possibly Marionette. Now, I don't know if that's true or not. It could be some Garufin thing, for example, because think about it this way as well. Like, Malia, in a sense, overtook Melanie. It could have been a situation that Malia took over Marionette. It could have been as simple, and this one, or this here I'm about to say, makes more sense than what I just said like a second ago. I believe Marionette, when she got sacrificed, right? I believe she did get sacrificed. But I believe, because again, the Griffin exchange or whatever it's called, I forgot what it's called, like, if you give something into it, you also get something of like return value, or whatever it's called. I forgot what it's called. I think you get what I'm getting at. So at the very beginning, at the prologue, right? He wanted to pretty much sacrifice Marionette. He succeeded, but then what happened was not what he probably expected. Marionette got pretty much sacrificed, but then Malia appeared on the altar. I believe maybe Malia somehow like knew the power that she had, or maybe was just like beating up Indred. I don't know. Maybe that's what made him go into like that Yveltal form, so he doesn't like die off, you know? Who knows? And then maybe that kind of fits into Madame X now having the Yveltal. I don't know. Because it makes sense, because it is clearly stated that Madame X had Malia in her hands at a young age and wanted Professor Jenner to pretty much grow her up until she was of right age that Madame X can use her for her plans. So no, wait. Dude, this is why I love theory videos. It now clicks. So the prologue that I got so confused about, right? Madame X met Marionette as a kid, right? She was in the same timeline in the prologue. She said, you know, don't you dare lose hope and all that stuff, right? So when she got sacrificed, Madame X was still in that timeline. Now, sure, like, Marionette had some sort of, I don't know if it was like a time skip with all that, but let's just assume Madame X was still in there. Maybe she was able to get Indred and also get Malia as well. Maybe Indred got too weak, maybe went into like that Yveltal form, whatever, and now that is also why, now this goes into another thing as well. Real quick, like I said earlier when I asked you to hold your thought on Vitus being Yveltal, down at the Sheridan Wasteland, there's a secret room that I did on one of the side quest videos that talk about the Yveltal. Madame X, or whoever wrote the book, I'm going to assume it was Madame X, she keeps referring to the Yveltal as a he. Like, if I can control him, I win. And she went about, you know, him, you know, it's pretty much like his trap and all that or something, or whatever. Actually, let me pause and let me meet you actually there for a moment so I can actually read it properly. Okay, so I want to read this again real quick so I get everything right. It seems to be a book full of notes. It's titled Yveltal's Demise. Read. Okay. The Yveltal is the key. The Yveltal is how he knows. Yveltal is how he spies, he stalks us. There seems to be another section, one to keep reading. Upon the death of Yveltal, it sucks the life force from every living thing around it and then reverts into a cocoon. I believe that this is his trap. It's a fail-safe, a way to get back if all else fails. So, now I will say this, now the way I read that, maybe it's not necessarily that he is Yveltal, but at the same time, I feel like it is, but also isn't. Maybe, like, It's weird. Like I feel like he's able to like also have the power of Yveltal. Like it's weird because like it says like if all else fails, a way to get back if all else fails. So pretty much, if he's like in a dying situation, he could pretty much somehow use Yveltal to give him life force as well, so he does not die. And that also explains what happened at Hiyoshi City. You know, Nimro and them got into a big battle probably. That's probably what happened to Hiyoshi. It got destroyed. She failed because he used Yveltal, or again, maybe he became Yveltal and pretty much took the life force, and there he is, you know, back to being good again. You know, he almost lost, but he didn't because of what he did. I have to find a way to destroy Yveltal while also preventing the impending doom that is a result of its own demise. If I can do that, then I win. So with that being said, Madam X knows like, hey, like one day this Yveltal, again, there's gonna be another situation that it's going to be dying, and I have to stop that from happening, because if it does, then, you know, we're all gonna like turn to stone, our life force is gonna be gone, and there's nothing else to do. But it makes you wonder in a sense, like again, like this is where the whole Team Zen goal and Madam X's goal is so confusing. It is so confusing to me. But I'll get into that in a moment. But again, with the whole Malia Madam X thing, I believe there's a possibility that Madam X got Malia from Indred, maybe somehow got the Yveltal as well. I don't know. That would maybe make some sense in the prologue. I feel like I got some stuff missing, but who knows. But with the other kids though, Aaron or Arena, Alice, and Alan, again, I just don't have a lot of theories on them. There's just not enough on them. But the only thing I could think about is like her real name, Arena. Again, it has IA, Mira, IA. But still, like that just could easily be a coincidence. Maybe not, I don't know. But Alice and Alan is just like, there's not a lot enough known about them, so I just don't have a lot to say about them. But before I get into, because like the next thing is current time stuff, so I believe we've gone through most of the time, or past stuff, sorry. I'm sorry for kind of rambling here and there and maybe skipping out on a few things, but it's, again, like I feel like I'm on the right track in a sense, but I feel like I'm just missing a few things. Like I'm forgetting a few things, and I'm not computing everything. It's similar, real quick before I get into current time stuff, it's similar to like the 4 lights and 4 darknesses, right? And I want to reread that real quick down here. Like again, I did not anticipate or like guess that the 4 darkness could be the storm itself. I just thought it was its own entity. I thought like the storm 9 was like the orb, and he just wanted to throw another bomb out of nowhere and all that. So like I was somewhat right on Nim being a part of the darkness, but I didn't realize that like if you're one of the darkness, then you are one piece of the storm. That's what I got wrong. So yeah, I want to reread this real quick. So yeah, and maybe this may connect a few things with past event stuff, but if I can't really compute anything, I'm gonna go into current time stuff next. Light prophecy. With death there is also life, with life there is also death. On the darkest day, on the darkest night, tragedy shall befall the earth. All those caught in the Lord's shadow shall be drained and destroyed. The world can be brought back to peace again with the 4 light stone, with the 4 lights not born from man. They shall preserve and save the land and break down the establishment to a single layer of sand. Now real quick, for the 4 lights, so is it pretty much, I know I said earlier with the 4 lights being Malia, maybe Alita, maybe Reina, and a few others. Maybe the 4 lights are simply, you know, Malia, Aaron, Alice, and Alan then. Actually, that is probably what it is, honestly, and it explains why Indred sealed the 3 of them, so he can create the 4 darknesses without, you know, light interfering. That's probably what he tried to do, but of course they got out, so it's kind of like, well, what's going to be Indred's next plan then? Who knows? Light shall once again be restored to the world, prosperity and peace shall mesh into one giant swirl, and the land shall be guided by a new light, the strongest of the 4 lights. I'm going to safely assume that's Malia because she was in the center and hers was glowing red. To rid this world of everlasting evil and blight. Dark prophecy. With life there is also death, with death there is also light. On the darkest day of humanity, the world shall shake, houses will burn, people will be killed, the land shall shift, and innocent beings shall fall between the crevices. 4 darknesses born from man shall reign supreme and create a world in their own likeness. So here's the confusing part, right? It says born from man, so I guess in a sense, I don't know if that means like it's only like one father, you know, of the 4 darknesses, because it makes it like it's weird because with Vitus you would think Vitus would be, you know, the father of, you know, the 4 darknesses, but no, it's the opposite. He's of light. But again, that's because of the archetype. So does that mean Vitus is also a father to another 4 kids? Would it be possibly that Address is maybe, I don't want to say he is like a father, but like, for example, to like Alon and Ario and just all the other protagonists, you know, like maybe they fit into that. No, that doesn't make sense because Nim doesn't really, maybe it doesn't really depend if it's like one father. It could be like multiple fathers. Just if you just fit the right, you know, criteria, then you could be of one of the 4. Maybe that's it. I don't know. 4 darknesses born from man shall reign supreme and create world in their own likeness. The balance of life and death shall be shattered. The balance between light and dark shall not shift. Is it shift? Or what did it say? Snuffed out and destroyed forever, a world born of hatred, evil, jealousy, and prejudice. Disaster shall be the only known hope and creation of yet another world. So I wonder if that has to do with also the whole deletion thing down at Amasquerado as well. So I don't know. So yeah, that didn't really add too much, but let's go into some current time stuff now. Alright, so I'm gonna go into current stuff now. Again, there might be some stuff in the past that I missed, forgot about, and if I didn't really talk about certain stuff, I apologize. Again, I may miss stuff, and there's also a chance that like maybe I have thought about it, but again, like there's just not enough info. There's just not a lot of given on certain stuff, so that could be also be a possibility why I didn't talk about it. So yeah, current time. So I'm not gonna go through a redo of the full story. I'm just not, but I just want to go back into my notes and what I wrote down. So current time, Millie and Marnette, I actually already did that on the last one, sorry about that, but yeah, again, I believe Malia is Marionette, possibly because of the whole Garufin thing. I think something very similar, if not the exact same thing, happened with like the whole Vivian's Madness thing, with her getting reincarnated. I believe the same thing is with Malia and Marionette. I believe that's somewhat obvious, I might be wrong. Storm 9, I kind of already went into that a little bit, it seems. So I could skip out on that. Already gone through Storm 9. Nim is still a big question mark to me. Again, I said earlier, I'm gonna say it again, I just don't get the whole past thing, like how she fits in, because clearly something happened. Maybe it has something to do with the whole deletion of the world. Maybe we're fighting to delete it or to stop it from being deleted, because our character did state that I don't remember anything like that ever happening. Which is fair, simply because, again, we're not Alon. Like, maybe the actual Alon, actually that makes the most sense. The actual Alon probably was helping to either save or actually delete the world. And since they died and I guess failed, somebody said that we, like us, like literally like me, you know, whoever's playing the protagonist, we are Alon. Like, Alon was her own character, but because Alon didn't want to live anymore and all that, they said, you know, we'll have another person take over and all that. I think that's what, not Valerie said, or Valeria, or whatever her name was, but the one interceptor scene. So it's very cool how they played that into that, so very cool on them. And thanks for the one commenter that pointed that out. I feel like I worded that weird, but thanks for letting me know about that. That makes a lot of sense. So yeah, but that would make sense about the whole thing about us not knowing what was going on, but the old Alon may have actually like knew pretty much everything what was going on with that. Anyways, what I have next is Madam X and Team Zen's goals. This is where I'm just confused, and I don't know what to think. So again, I go back to my initial video on, you know, Madam X's identity and Team Zen theories a while back on version 12. I still don't know what to think anymore. I don't know what to think. Because like 1 minute she's like, we gotta stop Vitus, I have to stop this, but maybe it's simply because like, hey, if I stop this, then like nobody can stop me. Like I can be pretty much the dictator of Avium. Like I own it all. Maybe, but here's the issue that I have with that. What the hell do you gain? Like, sure, power and all that, but like there has to be something more to it. And plus with version 12, again, this is where I said earlier, I believe they changed some story stuff with, you know, certain things. I don't know if the book is the same like version 12, but in the diary, it literally says in the diary itself that that old man has created the catalyst to the end of the world. You know, I will do everything I can to stop it. Like my friends can die, I can die, as long as somebody can like stop this from happening. Like I will do anything I can. So it just makes you wonder, like, is Madam X one of those characters, like, she will literally do anything, whether it's good, whether it's evil, whether it's right or wrong. I will do literally anything it takes to stop this from happening again. Is it maybe like Madam X is like, okay, I'm tired of these gods like doing this. Like Nimro needs to go, Vitus needs to go, Spacia, Tempo, Griselda, like they all, like I want it all gone. We don't need them anymore because again, she seemed to have some sort of issue with Spacia and Tempo back then at the Doom timeline. When she said, you know, they screwed us over and all that. So I don't, maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. But I still have a hard time believing that Madam X is trying to start Storm 9. I know they said it all the time, and even I feel like though I feel like I'm in like the denial phase in a sense, because even Rune said like, yeah, she's trying to start Storm 9, so I guess that is her plan. But again, it's just like, but that it just doesn't fit with what the diary said. It doesn't to me. It doesn't fit, because she's like, I want to do everything I can to stop this. It fits in with the Vitus thing, like if I can control him, like I win. But like, what are you trying to gain by stopping him? Like to stop the end of the world? Like, are you still just trying to be like the one ultimate ruler? You know, and you know what? With theories on Madam X, you know, Madam X could simply just be like Griselda, but that just doesn't make sense, because you know, Garatina's just walking around, so I don't know. Madam X could be Nimro, it could be Anitha, it could be Marnet, it could be Malia, I don't know, it could be, I don't know, Barack Obama, like, I don't know, there's, like, oh, dude, it's just, it could be just a character that hasn't been known yet. I would say this, I would be somewhat disappointed if it was, like, Marionette, or not Marionette, sorry, Marionette actually makes sense. But I'd be somewhat disappointed if it was literally Malia Aaron from another timeline. It just, yes, they say similar things that kind of caught me out, or caught me off guard. When all that happened at the Angie Manor and all that. But like, here's the thing, right? I still don't believe it's Aaron. I just don't. I don't believe it's Malia. I don't think it's Alice. I don't think it's Alan. I don't think it's Melanie. I don't think it's any of them. It could be Nimro, it could be Anitha. I don't know. I can go all day long on just guessing. And then see the next thing, Team Zen's Go already went through that. It's so confusing, and again, like I feel like I'm missing something. I don't think their intentions are to be like the bad team. Like I feel like they're just willing to do literally everything it takes to win. But I just feel like I'm missing something. What's next? Yveltal, Indred. Okay, so Maybe I was wrong now that I talk about Indrid being Yveltal, since it's using it more as like a spy, but still, like, there has to be a connection. Maybe not necessarily him being the Pokemon. I mean, maybe it is, but it's either that or like some way like they have a connection. You know, like kind of like how the Interceptor, you know, how it says, you know, whose mind will you inhabit next? Maybe he's able to like inhabit the mind of it. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Puppet Master is up next with the whole rune thing. Honestly, I don't have a lot of theories on that. I just don't. I know she said, you know, Madam X is gonna be, and a commenter brought this up too, and it is somewhat actually confusing that they stated that the Puppet Master said, you know, Madam X is unstoppable, I have to do this to stop her, but if she's unstoppable, then what you're doing isn't the solution. Like, then how are you gonna beat her, you know? But I believe I replied something similar that Clear and Kieran said, like, hey, like, we have like a 74 point something percent or whatever the hell they said chance, while the crew has like an 80 something percent chance. So I would safely assume that Team Zen would probably ultimately still win the battle, but if we allowed Rune to get too powerful, then maybe it would be just too overwhelming for Team Zen to do anything about. In my honest, oh whoops, did I mean that the mic? Sorry. In my honest opinion, logically, I think the logical answer would have been just to let Rune go on a rampage, and then maybe just try to stop Rune if it's even possible at that point, because then it gets rid of Team Zen and all that. But this may sound stupid. I don't know if I really want to see Team Zen destroyed. Like, I actually really like Team Zen. I like the motives, if I'm correct on them, like actually like willing to do evil stuff, but you know, literally do anything it takes to pretty much like not allow everything to go away and all that, you know. And maybe again, maybe their goal is to pretty much delete everything once again, if it was Team Zen that did that in the first place, because it's still unknown on who deleted it or resetted it in the first place. Okay, so next up, let's see, Saki Gym puzzle. I don't know why I wrote that down. I believe there's some weird puzzle for Gym. I think that was just like a thing for me to go back there with moving the statues. I want to figure that out. Oh yeah, Her Majesty and Light and Dark. I already went through Light and Dark. Her Majesty, so Spatial Temple, I'm still not going to forget about Her Majesty, because at some given point, you know, they literally say, we do what Her Majesty tells us to do, so I don't know who Her Majesty is, but I just don't want anybody to forget about that, because they never really touched on Spatial Temple at all. Intercept the Storm, I kind of went through all that, so yeah, I went through the Indrid Dark Prophecy and all that, already did that. Gira loses Shadow. Oh yeah, so with the one in battle though, again, like kind of similar with Angie, that the weird spirit kind of like popped out. I don't know if it was Indrid spirit or not. Who knows? But that happened. Same thing with Gira. His was pretty much gone, and he just doesn't know what to do anymore, so maybe, you know, they had something to do with the storm, or I don't know. I mean, maybe Angie is still ice, maybe not, and maybe in a sense, like, again, like, I believe it's not like permanent, like, if you're dark, you know, like, that's it, like, it's permanently stuck to you till death. I believe Indrid in, when we go to the mansion with Venom, Lenny, and whatever the other girl's name was, I believe it said like it's not just like one person, like it kind of like comes and goes and all that, so maybe Angie doesn't have, you know, the storm for ice. I believe she still has the abilities for ice, but not necessarily that fits into the storm. Maybe, I don't know. Same with Gira. Gira could even be, you know, thunder, maybe, who knows. So yeah, I just kind of wanted to bring that up again. Crescent, Saki, Adam, and Valerie. I don't have a lot of theories on them, I just wanted to bring them up. So yeah. I'm still confused about the whole Crescent thing with, you know, the other protagonist and all that, because her name is with the letter C and doesn't match all the A's, but then again, I believe it is said that it's like a code name, which I notice happens quite a bit within the story, so I don't know much about Crescent. So apparently, I guess we were good friends. I believe I had a commenter said like we were like in a relationship or like lovers or something. Unless I missed it, I did not get that at all. And to be honest, I don't really care about like love interest and all that in stories. I think that's like a way to absolutely destroy a game, or even I guess a fandom is another word. I'm not gonna say a few selective fandoms that got ruined by all that. Um, no hate to anybody that like gets into. I guess it's called shipping or whatever. Whatever it is. I I never really cared about all that, and I could see this spiral into something like just like really like cringe. So I really hope it doesn't. But it's something I never really cared about anyways. But like if that's the case, then like cool, I guess. I don't know. Somebody brought that up. I didn't really get that vibe. I know some of the protagonists were like in relationships with others, which yeah, makes sense. I mean, I guess I get it, but I don't know. I just never really cared about all that, to be honest. And yeah, but if that's the case, then I'm not sure if we'll learn more about all that. But I don't even know if that's true. I just don't even remember that at all. And I remember a few commenters had to correct me on a few things, so this could be another thing that I just got wrong. So yeah. Alright, next up, the Zen Purges being the Stack Attacka, making it unstoppable. I had a commenter bring that up before when I said, you know, the 4 pillars will make it unstoppable. I'm going to assume the next part. I'm not going to get super into it because, again, once I get into all the theories, then I'll go into possible outcomes for the future. I believe the first scene with the 1 pillar that Cassandra and Madalis put in the ocean on Terrajuma Island, I believe that is one of the 4 pillars. It makes sense because think about it. They're putting the pillar which is near the 1 area where you could do the Crystalline Town side quest. That there's this weird generator area that I guess is keeping, you know, this world alive in a sense. Or at least keeping the oceans and all that, giving it life and all that. The same thing happened with the Yellow Submarine side quest with Volta and all that. So I believe each pillar is going to be somewhere near one of those locations. So yeah, that's my guess on that. These Zen Purges, I guess that's pretty much it about that. I can go into like future stuff, but again, I want to go to theories and all that first, just talk about random stuff, and then I'll go into summarizing how I feel version 14 is going to go in, or how it's going to take place and go into and all that. Next one I have is Interceptor. Again, this is one of those ones that I just don't have a lot of theories on, because I kind of went into it like a little bit beforehand, but again, like it's just not a lot is known, you know, so I don't know, but the whole life thing is really interesting. So like for example, and people can correct me if I'm wrong, so like for example, we saw Kata there, Jenner as well died, so maybe Jenner was there at some point. So like if we're around like characters that die, at least important characters, does that give us 1 life? And if we die, it takes one of them out for us, because it says we have 1 left, that being Kata. So I'm gonna assume if Kata dies, if we die and Kata's gone, then we have pretty much 1 life left. Like that's it. Like if we die, that's it. But for example, if another character dies in the future, let's just say I don't know, let's just say Reina dies, for example, right? And we're near her and all that. Do we take that life and add 1 more, or get another one because of that? I'm not really sure how that all works. So yeah. The Interceptor wish and all that, I'm gonna safely assume that's pretty much what the Puppet Master was referring to. Interceptor, oh Interceptor, whose mind will you inhabit next? Now, of course, I decided not to use the Interceptor's wish in this playthrough. So yeah, I'm gonna assume that's what that's referring to. But other than that, I don't have a lot to say about the Interceptor. It's kind of everything that I can say has kind of already been said, so I'll just be summarizing it more than just theorizing. So yeah. Let's see, Alexandra Nimra. I kind of already went into Nimra more. Alexandra, still somewhat confusing. It seems, you know, has a legend, you know, Latias, and then Damien with Latios. So again, just not a lot known about them, but I just thought I'd mention them again. World saved / destroyed. Oh yeah, so thankfully commenter told me that there is you're able to get a bad ending in this game, which I love so much, because um I really love games that you can literally just say screw it, I'm gonna be on the evil team, especially in like a Pokemon Family game. Now sure, like it's very rare that I see games like this, and oh yeah, real quick, like some people could say, well, you could play as like a Team Rocket grunt in this game, and I'm over here like, yeah, but like that's boring as hell. Like I want us to have like a significant role in all this, and I believe if we go with that, like we have a huge role with helping with Clear, Kieran, and Madam X. Now I want to say this real quick because I really hope this game does not fumble the ball on that. If we get killed or betrayed by Madam X or any of them, I would be so pissed, because again, like I would love a game that like we actually help them, we team up with Madam X, you know, we do the thing, and like we actually contribute to her, and she doesn't do anything that backstabs us, Claire and Kieran don't do the same thing to us, and we actually work together. I would be like very, very upset if that was the case, because I think it'd be so cool if we could actually like work with Madam X and all that. It's just a whole different story than if we went about it that certain way. So I hope it's that way and not us getting betrayed by one of them in the end. That would really suck, but it is what it is. The Iblis, I kind of went into that a little bit beforehand with the whole soul thing and all that. Again, not a lot is given on that. I know we see address there, but yeah, now I'm gonna assume like again, I think it's possible. So actually real quick, that reminds me, so I was right in a sense that you can have more than one interceptor, right? Now I kind of wonder if there's a sense like if the interceptor dies. Now I know it says like the core takes damage and the interceptor like dies, and if the core takes damage, like, you know, vice versa. But I think it's cool that you can't have more than one interceptor, because Crescent is there as well. But of course she's on her last life. Like, I mean, like if she dies, that's it. But I believe if we die, we have one more chance, and then that's it. So yeah, I kind of wonder if like if all the interceptors are gone, does that mean like it's game over, no hope, or does a new one get founded by address and all that? Not sure how that works. And the final thing I have real quick is the end game. This goes into speculations now on how version 14 and all that is going to play out. So yeah. Alright, speculations on the end game. I don't know if you all realize this, but we are pretty much, you know, approaching the end game. We're about to battle Team Zen. Again, they said it. They want to do version 14, and then a part, like, version 14 part 1, part 2, and then part 3 being the finale. Like, that's it. I do not believe that version 14, 1, 2, and 3 are going to be as long, or each one is going to be as long as this story. I believe they're going to be more smaller stories, like here and there, because it's like there's only so much you can add at this point, since we are approaching the end of the game at this point. So yeah, I believe how it's gonna play out, it's just a big educated guess, is, you know, we prepare for Team Zen and all that. We may do a few things before the attack. I personally believe a lot of people are either going to get injured. I believe a few important characters are actually going to die as well. So yeah, I believe part 1 may end off on a cliffhanger for the Zen Purges battle, or maybe we are battling the Zen Purges and we end that, and then something else arises in part 2, that being maybe going after Madam X. I believe the second part may be going into, you know, battling Team Zen HQ, or something like that, going after Madam X and Stasia and all that. I feel like part 1 is going to be more towards the Zen Purges and all that. Part 2, I think, is going to be more towards the base and all that, and possibly transitioning into part 3, possibly the final battle with Madam X. But I believe it's not just, I don't think it's just that. I believe Clear and Kieran is going to have something to do with it, and then I also believe Vitus is going to finally appear at the end as well, to kind of do something with the Yveltal and all that. I believe we're going to have something with Nimro, maybe Xerneas or something may appear, whatever, I don't know. But overall, I think it's going to end at us pretty much saying we want to save the world or not, and whatever we decide is what we decide. So yeah, that is a pretty boring and basic summary, but I believe it's gonna play out something like that. There may be a few things here and there because we don't have all the gym badges yet. I don't know if this is going to be a game that we can actually, for example, get all the badges. It may not even do that at all. So yeah, maybe in the middle of that they may add something like, hey, before we go into all this, right, we may do some, you know, kung fu fighting, do a couple of gym battles, and maybe in the first part or maybe the second part, before, you know, the attack, we might actually go and do the champion and go battle Alexandra the Elite 8 and all that, maybe. And then version or part, you know, 3, the final part, it's gonna be us, you know, pretty much being the champion. We're gonna go in there and, you know, there we go. There's probably a few things I'm missing, but I just wanted to do a quick summary on how I think it's gonna end off. So yeah, I think some characters are gonna die. I think the end game, and that is some guy with a huge truck again. Nice. Anyways, I don't know. I feel like Vitus and Nimrod has something to do with the end game. I believe Millie is gonna have an important role. Maybe Ran Elite and all that. So I believe we're all gonna have like important roles and all that. It's gonna be huge. It's gonna be great, and I really just hope they don't fumble the ball and all that with the story. So far, they've done a great job. I love it. Again, it's just one of those games that I just want to say this real quick. And I'm gonna transition out of the end game and theorizing how the rest of it's gonna be played, and this is gonna be summarizing the story of version 13, all that real quick and all that. So this is one of those games that I love a lot because there's a lot of moving parts, but that's also what makes it scary, or that's what makes this game very scary in a sense, and what also, you know, makes people kind of like not like games like this, which again, I get it. There's a lot of moving parts. It can get very confusing, and yes, it is very confusing. I don't want this to fall into a category of, what's a good example? You know the meme, right? Of the perfectly drawn horse. You know, I believe it's like what, like, you know, the tail, the back legs and all that first, it's beautifully drawn. Then the second half, you know, the body, it's beautifully drawn. And then the third half is a kindergartner, you know, drawing the head and the rest of the legs on the front and all that, and just absolutely destroys the drawing. I fear that this game may fall into that category. I don't think it is, but for me it's just like, I don't want it to be a game like it gets so hyped and then the ending is just like, what is this? Like, how does this make sense? I really hope the ending actually like fits everything together, that a lot of these questions and answers and theories that I have get answered, whether I'm right or wrong, you know, is irrelevant. I just want an answer that at least makes sense overall, you know? So yeah. So that's just one of the things I kind of fear about this game. I don't have any, I don't know. It's just like, I feel like it can fall into that, but they've done such a good job so far that I just, you know, and again, like I've said it at the first video with version 13, like seriously, even though like I'm going through theories and kind of like saying this stuff, like they do a ton of work, and thanks so much for this game, like to all the developers and all that you know made this game. Like I love it. A lot of people love it. Sure, you know, bugs and all that suck, but at the end of the day, you know, it's just one of those things that, you know, it's a new game, bugs are gonna happen, things are gonna happen, and it's fine, you know. I have the patience to like not really get upset about it, you know, but to people that are impatient, I guess it kind of sucks for them, but you know, I don't mind finding solutions and all that. So yeah, with like bugs and stuff like that. So real quick, final things on version 13. Pretty much, I like the story so far. Again, I just worry about all that. I love the challenge with a lot of the battles. I'm not the biggest fan of some of the changes within the game, you know, with getting rid of Alola Muck early game, moving Lycanroc and all that. I stated that before. The revival herb thing, I honestly understand it and I'm fine with that, so it is what it is. But I think moving some of the Pokemon and making the game slightly more difficult, you know, kind of sucks in a sense. But here's something like a lot of you guys got to understand at the same time. is that games like Rejuvenation, Reborn, Desolation, Impreen, let's just throw maybe Dark Rising in there as well. There's probably a few other candidates as well for like harder games and all that, but like keep in mind, like, this is meant to be more challenging. Like, this is not like your normal Pokemon game. Like, this is going to be more challenging. And again, I rather play this game, even though the last video, that Kyogre battle, that Wailord battle drove me to insanity, I still figured out a way, and it's such a relief when you figure out a way. And I said it before, like, even though like it sucks getting mad and all that, but like, I do enjoy getting frustrated with games. Like, I want a challenge. I want to like think, you know? So I love how they still kept that challenge alive and made it somewhat more challenging, but I don't want this, like, I've always thought of, and I don't want to compare Reborn or Rejuvenation, but I've always thought that Reborn was a more tougher game than Rejuvenation. Now, Rejuvenation Intense Mode versus Reborn Regular, that's a different story. Rejuvenation beats it all day long, but Reborn normal, Rejuvenation normal. Reborn, I think, is just, you know, more less story driven but more challenging, and I've always pictured Rejuvenation more story driven. Just, it's challenging but not as challenging, if that makes any sense. So when I noticed that this game somehow became more challenging, it kind of was a little bit upsetting in a sense, because I thought they were gonna maybe, you know, stay as, you know, what they were doing beforehand. But again, it's their choice. I get it. And honestly, I don't mind challenges, even though sometimes they may make me upset. I still do enjoy a challenge. I don't mind getting upset and all that, because again, I'd rather get mad all day long and go through this game than just play a normal game and just breeze through it like it's nothing. Like, to me, there's just nothing fun about a challenge. Now, to some of the commenters, real quick, that are doing the challenge, I guess there's some intense mode with no items. Y'all are insane. I just want to let you know that. Like, you all are insane. I know I plan to do intense mode, but not get rid of items. Like, absolutely screw that. There's no way in hell I'm doing that. But, it sucks because I want to try it, but I know with common sense, I'm going to be realistic. There's no way I have the capabilities. And even though, you know, I do have a decent amount of patience, I don't have the patience to do it. I'm just not going to do that. But intense mode, I do plan to do in the future, so yeah. Again, I don't mind difficulty. I just wish they didn't make a lot of like the Pokemon changes and all that. It kind of sucks for a lot of players, but at the end of the day, I get it. I understand it. Me personally, it's not that bad. I mean, no matter what, like I said before, even with the Wailord video, like, even though I was getting upset, I kept telling myself, and I said a few times in the video, like, no matter what, I'm gonna beat it. Like, I know I can, and eventually I did, so I just don't really like quitting and all that, so yeah. Alright, so I think that's pretty much it. Overall, I love version 13. I love the story so far. And that's pretty much it. If you want to comment on some stuff I missed, and all that, that's fine. This is just a rough summary and theory video and all that, so yeah, again, I'm sorry if I like scattered this all over the place. I tried to kind of stick with the notebook, but I feel like I kind of went a little too quick on it. But yeah, it's just a lot of moving parts, and there's probably a few things I didn't talk about or missed. But again, I might do a second part to this in the future, maybe correcting myself or adding a few things in the future once I play my other files of version 13 and may get a better idea on everything. So yeah. I guess let me know your theories and all that. Let me know if you think I have some stuff right or wrong. I feel like, again, I'm gonna go back to what I said at the beginning. Like, I was right for a decent amount of stuff, but there was quite a bit that I just wasn't putting in the puzzle. There were still pieces that I was missing, and that's where I got tripped up. Again, like, I feel like I'm on the right track, but just, I'm not there yet. There's just not enough I'm, you know, putting together, and I'm missing stuff, and that's where I'm at right now with this. So yeah, real quick, to end off this video, I just want to say real quick, we're almost at 200 subscribers. This is where I become Cringe Lord 72,000 and just say thank you guys so much for everyone that has subscribed. Again, I know it's cringe and almost everybody says this, but like I really do appreciate it. I was not expecting the views that I'm getting in this Let's Play. I don't know how I had these views because I said it on the first episode. Like, guys, I'm boring as hell. I'm not interesting. I'm not fun. I'm a complete moron. But for some reason, quite a few of you guys actually like viewed the video. Whether you watched the entirety or just skipped around, whatever, you know, it's whatever. But like, you know, seeing some of the comments and actually seeing some people, you know, having fun, you know, commenting about theories, correcting me, or me talking to them about certain stuff, and even some of the viewers, kind of just going back and forth, just saying bruh, like stuff like that. It's fun to see, you know, like, and I appreciate it, you know. I want this to be a channel that, you know, I don't see it getting big, but I want it to be a channel that maybe one day like a decent size. And I want to be able to like interact with commenters, you know, comment back, like, stuff like that, and just, you know, have fun and play Pokemon, you know. That's pretty much the goal, for me at least. So, yeah, thanks so much for that. I appreciate the likes, the comments, even people that disliked it, you know, like, I guess, thanks. And hope your day's been well still. Whether you liked it or not, it's up to you. But, yeah, I don't know. At the end of the day, like, just thank you so much. I appreciate it. I love you all. I really do. And I hope to create more videos in the future for you guys. So, yeah. Plans for the future, because I just want to get into that real quick. The next Let's Play we're going to get into is Pokemon Where Love Lies. I kind of want to get Rejuvenation out of the way before version 13.5 and all that. So yeah, I feel like we're not going to get as many viewers through that Let's Play, because honestly, I feel like the views I'm getting is honestly hype with version 13. I think that's all it is, but I still think maybe a few may stick around when I get into Where Love Lies and maybe some other fan-made games and all that, so we'll see what happens. But either way, it doesn't change that I still just want to have fun and record and all that, so it doesn't really change anything. So yeah, Where Love Lies is gonna be the next Let's Play. I want to try beating that in the next 6 to 8 videos. I'm gonna probably do them like about an hour and a half each. If I could beat it in 6 episodes, I would be very happy about that, because I really want to start up our new Let's Play that somebody commented about before, that being Pokemon Soulstone. It looks like a very fun and interesting game. I'm very excited to try it out, so I'm not gonna speed run, you know, Where Love Lies. I want to take my time with it, but I really kind of want to like knock out those videos and then play Soulstone, because I never played it. I love playing new fan-made games that look interesting, so yeah, I'm very excited for that. So yeah. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the video off here. Again, sorry if I got a few things wrong. You can correct me or beat me up in the comments, that's fine. Sorry for this being an hour and 10 minutes. I don't expect most people to watch the entirety of this. You may just skip around, or I don't know. You can maybe even put this at like ×2, I don't know, and go about it that way. So yeah, again, thanks so much for watching. I love you all. Big bro moment, and I guess I'll see you all in our next our next Let's Play, being Pokemon Where Love Lies, if I could speak. I love you all. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all in the next video. Good morning.